This is Angela with InfectiousMagazine.com here with Our Lives in Motion. How are you guys?
Good.
We're great.
Would you mind introducing yourselves and your role in the band?
I'm Dave and I sing.
I'm Jeff. I play drums.
I'm Tony and I play guitar.
What brought on your new lineup?
Well, my brother used to play drums in the band. Because of just differences in his life and what he wants to do, he just decided not to play. You know, he's not cut out for it. I've talked to a lot of people about it, him himself, and he's like, I just don't have the energy to put into the record. I don't have anything. So basically he's just doing his thing. I mean, we were lucky we found Jeff through Justin. So
Now, how have things been? How's the whole transition been?
it's been great.
I think it took some time.
It took a little time to get used to.
I think more or less like personality-wise, like us learning like there's like a lot with bands, like learning like the ins and outs of like your band members and like how to like deal with them. Not like really deal with them because it sounds like they're like a pain, but like you learn like what ticks people off, and it's like just like a family. So
There's definitely a lot of
learning like about each other, and it just you want to be the closest you can be as a band. So I mean, that's how it was.
Takes a little getting used to with new members. I mean, I'm sure same for Jeff.
Yeah, for sure.
Transitioning out of his last band,
Now, you guys played Warped Tour this past year, the Boston date.
Yes.
We did.
How was that? Amazing, right?
It was great. I mean, you grow up going to Warped Tour.
Yeah,
You got
exactly.
to play. It was a lot different being on the other side. Felt awesome.
Definitely, and it was a lot of prepping, kind of like we did a lot of signs like. Our last motion at the Unity Ball stage, and then we had to like fill in the time slot once we found out because we didn't find out till that night, or not that night, but that day rather. So,
Yeah, it's short notice kind of thing. Really rushed, but needless to say, we got to play. So you do what you have to do.
amazing.
I mean,
For sure.
Now, you guys recently did a thing on Facebook where you had your fans suggest to their friends and then you called them.
Yeah.
So that's way more personal than most bands go. Do you think that...
yeah, we took it to the next level.
Yeah, do you think that it really sort of helped having that personal connection with your fans?
Every time we called people, they were shocked that we actually called. I think they thought we were like lying or something, but it was great. Their response when they got the phone call, they're like, "Oh, I didn't think you were gonna call." It was a good time though. It's something different to do.
I want to just like try to get as close to our fans as possible. Like we want to show them that like we really appreciate what they do for us. Because it's like that's where it starts, it's like ground up, and that's what keeps us going. So.
No broken promises to people. I mean,
Yeah, that would...
Yeah, Jeff just deletes all the numbers and doesn't call anybody. No, not true.
I called them all.
Did you guys call them together or separately?
Together.
pretty much
Mostly.
together. Yeah.
Yeah.
We still actually have a couple people to call.
Figured all
We're gonna
that.
get to you.
What's the basis of your debut EP, Salvation and Secrets?
Like, what's the basis of it? Like,
Yeah, like stories behind it, or you know what I mean? Like just sort of what it's based around.
I think it's like a lot of like me and Dave when we were sitting down like going over it was a lot of like real stuff that was happening now stuff like war, stuff like broken promises and stuff like that. So I mean it's a lot of like more into his life than ours, but
Yeah, I know. For me, at the time, I was in a really bad place. Tony and I used to play in a band, and we were getting ready to really do a lot of stuff, and he actually got deployed to Iraq. So a lot of the lyrics are based off of like what happened over that year while he was gone. A lot of pretty messed up stuff happened to me, and even from there. So the lyrics are very personal to me. I don't know if they understand them completely, but
I do, Jeff.
there's a couple songs that relate to him being gone, and just like for me, it's just songs to open up people's eyes. Live their lives, just do the right thing.
Now, what can fans expect from your next release, which is due out sometime in 2011, correct?
Yeah, I think we're gonna probably try to release for the spring, hopefully as early as possible. What do you think?
Yeah, I mean, we're not really giving ourselves like a deadline, you know what I mean? Just because we don't want to rush anything and we don't want to put out a bad record. I mean, not to say we're gonna, but I mean, like, I don't know, it's refreshing. We're just kind of going with the flow, rolling with the punches, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So like when the record gets done, it gets done. Not to say it's going to be out in like 2014, but I mean, like, we're doing our thing, and it'll get out there when it gets out there.
Yeah, I think people can expect it to still be us, but I think it's going to be more. I just feel like the new record is like really close to all of us, and like we're really writing songs that like are from here, opposed to being like, oh, let's get a song and get vocals over it. It's just like these songs really hit close to home for all of us. Feel like, and I think this record's going to be, the best thing that we've done so far. So
Definitely a lot more from the heart. Like we have a new writing process. It used to just be Tony and I sitting down. Now we actually work as one full unit. Throwing suggestions back and forth. So it's going to be more of a mix rather than just like Tony writes the guitar parts and I do my vocals. I think everybody is contributing equally all around, so it should be a lot better on this record. I mean, it's more mature.
Yeah, you can
really
always
digging the
tell.
new sound. Yeah.
Now, how did each of you get into music?
I started playing. I don't know. I started playing in bands when I was 14 years old, but I always had a passion even as a kid. In my previous bands, I played guitar, I played bass, and it's funny because, when Tony and I started this band, we didn't know what we were going to do. He was obviously playing guitar, but we were like, should you play guitar? Should you play bass? And one day he was like, oh, why don't you try singing? And I was like, I don't know. All right.
It's working out.
So then we did our demo, and I really liked how my voice sounded, and I was pretty happy with how things were going. So here we are.
What about you guys?
I always wanted to play drums since I was like 4, I can remember, and I think I was either 16 or, I think I was 16, I was going out of my junior year of high school, going into my senior year, and my buddy that I used to work with, he was a drummer, and he's like, oh, I got this guitar and this little amp, he's like, why don't you just take it home and learn how to play, and we can just jam, and I was like, okay, never thought it was going to end up like turning into anything, and I just remember like the first day I had the guitar, I was plugging away for like probably like 14 hours in my room, and it was terrible. But after time, I really like loved what I was doing, and I think it was when I saw Thrice for the first time live, I knew this is like what I want to do for the rest of my life. So, and from there on out, just keep progressing, and I'm here now. What about you?
I started playing drums when I was like 10, and it might sound corny, but like when I saw the video for What's My Age Again by Blink-182 on MTV, I was like, this is what I want to do. Like, that dude looks unreal. I mean, mine is the whole running around naked thing.
That wasn't part of the whole thing that got you
know,
going?
Jeff.
You didn't think you wanted to do that?
And I mean, it's cool running around naked sometimes, but I don't know. I stuck with it. It felt right, so.
Who are your own personal influences, rather than as a band, just personal?
Personally, I think like when I first started going to shows, the first show I ever went to was back in like 1999. Saves the Day. They played a really tight set, but after that I started going to a lot of Thursday shows, and the show that they put on is what actually made me want to play music live. I always played on my own, but being there, I was like, I want that to be me. Like, just the intensity of those shows is pretty crazy.
For me, it was basically Thrice growing up, for a friend. Early story of the year, like brand new for sure. Like all those bands when they first came out. I remember like when Fuse was like buzzing real big, and like Fuse was the thing, and I was like always watching it, and like basically any of those bands that really started at Thursday for sure, and just like watching those bands play and like the energy behind them. There was one band called Moments in Grace that they like only lasted for like an EP and broke up, but that was like a huge band that like really contributed to me wanting to play music. So.
Blink definitely influenced me to just get out there and start playing music. I mean, a lot of bands like Saves the Day, Thursday, The Movie Life, Glass Shot, like a lot of Long Island bands, definitely influenced me to get out there, for sure.
Now, what do you think is the most underrated band, whether it's national or even just a local band?
A Loss for Words, for sure.
Yeah, they've been plugging away for years. Those guys definitely deserve some
Absolutely.
recognition beyond where they're at now.
I have one for this, and I can't even think of the band now because I always say this is the most underrated band ever. And this is going to bug me because now I can't think of it.
Dangerous Summer?
And they deserve, well, them too.
Yeah.
That band's incredible, and they're just not getting the credit they deserve.
There's really,
But,
This is
overall,
their chance. And
there's-
no
I
one's
know, it's
ever
like
gonna-
I have a
it's
chance to like
over.
say it and like
there's a lot of
I want
bands.
them to hear it.
Music right now is kind of in a strange place. I mean, I feel like things are transitioning from all pop. There's more of a mix of stuff now. So there's a lot of bands that got looked over for the last 5 years because of just pure pop music. So I'm hoping things will change. Offhand, I mean, just a loss for words. We grew up with those guys, and they've been playing for how long now?
I think
Forever.
11, 12 years.
Yeah.
I mean, they're getting some good tours and stuff. I
know.
don't know. I hope things go well for those guys.
Yeah,
'cause
definitely.
They're great dudes.
Yeah.
Still can't think of it.
Everline. They're not the one that I was thinking of, but they're one band. that I think
Everyone.
so.
Yeah, they could have a little more.
Yeah, I They
A little
like
more
they're not-
steam.
Yeah, but I mean it all depends. It's all smoke and mirrors and how well people push you out there and how hardworking of a band. You could be the best band in the world, but if you're not hardworking, it doesn't matter. Like you're not going to see anything, and that's why we try to keep working our asses off, and we're going to continue to do that.
Are you guys searching for a label right now?
I wouldn't say necessarily searching, but I mean, if there's one out there, we'll definitely look into it.
I feel like we're more so like working really hard just and hoping they're searching for us.
Yeah.
In the end, it's kind of hard to search out a label because, I mean, we can have interest in whatever label we want, but contacting the right people is just, it's near to impossible right now with all the bands that are around. I mean, there's thousands of bands sending in demos, doing all this stuff, so stuff goes right in the garbage. So hopefully off of all the promotion and everything we're doing, they'll be looking at us rather than
Music
us
industry is like
looking
one
at
big
them.
video game.
Just big analogy here. Loves it. No, it's really how it is.
Play the
It's,
game,
you
I
know,
guess, you know.
We all love certain labels. Like I'm a big Tooth and Nail guy, but it's like I don't think we'll ever get picked up by them just because we're too crazy. But I mean, I just I hope our hard work shows, and I hope a label isn't scared to sign us because they're unsure if we're a hardworking band, because it's a risk on their end too. So I think we're just gonna keep trying to be like the most hardworking band that we can be and show it to a label that we're not gonna give up on them.
And then lastly, just anything else you'd like to add?
Just like to thank everybody that supported us the past, especially the past few months with the lineup changes and everything. I honestly feel since that point we've done a lot more. When it first happened, we were kind of scared, but having Jeff, we actually sat down. We have some great things going on now. I think we're, like I said earlier, we're working together as one unit now. Not just me, not Tony by himself. So, thank you.
There's definitely a time there, like where we were going through everything. We were even questioning, is this going to be able to keep being a working process with everything that's been happening? Us, losing our other guitar player and our bassist just really not, being able to be there and help us when we need them. So I mean, the fact that the three of us have been able to like persevere and get through that, I think it just makes us stronger in the end. And that like if anything like this happens again, we'll be able to like just be able to take care of it real quick. Because I think we're all our heads are in the same spot. So at least we know what we need to find in other people. That when we start trying out other people and get them in this band, is that we know like where their head needs to be at with us.
Got anything?
Yeah, just thanks everybody who's been supporting, came out to the show tonight.
Good times.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you.